You see how the guys in Russia they think. These guys are pushing warfare into a different brand new space. Why the Americans are fantastic with warships. Why the Americans are fantastic with battles. Why the Americans are fantastic with world wars. These guys are creating their own strength. They are mastering it. See, we are experts. We are fantastic when it comes to sophisticated hacking. We have competent engineers and they have mastered the art. That's the point. So, if you realize that you are confronting an enemy that thinks differently from you, you need to understand that whether you like it or not, the fight between the Americans and the Russians would always be a fight between light and darkness. God does not agree with the devil. That's the truth. The ideologies of a Democrat does not agree with the ideologies of a dictator. Everybody in the EU say we don't like the strong man in Belarus. Everybody is criticizing the moves of the strong man in Belarus. Who is standing by him? You already know. It's Putin. So what does that tell you? The guy is a chameleon. That's it. The guy has the capacity to change his colors. So if you link up with Putin, you should be saying that this guy is somebody you have to be cautious with. Why? If you try to eat with the devil, you have to eat with a very long spoon. That's exactly what it means. That's the best approach. So if the internet was created from the backdrop of researches, the internet or research becomes the solution to the hacking problem. Let me say that again. If the internet was created with the intention of aiding research, not just aiding research from a library, but aiding research from a global or a worldwide perspective, then research becomes the answer. So, what are they going to be researching about? Is how do you create an unhackable web? How do you create an impregnable internet? It's only research that can answer that question. Till they create a web. They create the researchers, they create a web, the researchers create an internet. The internet or the web becomes impregnable. The, the internet or the web, it's impossible for the hackers to hack it. Why? Because even if they try to steal the codes, it can't work. In physics is what you call quantum physics. So you can talk about a quantum web. With quantum web, you'll be talking about computers, internets that is sharing information with light. That's the best solution to put it. Because it's a demon. A demonic hacker represents darkness. A demonic a demonic hacker represents darkness. So we research in quantum web or quantum internet. You introduce light. So we are going to be sharing information. We are going to be clicking with sparks of light. So it becomes impossible for the demonic hackers to get close. Putin and these guys say there's light. So these guys are sharing information with light. We can't penetrate. Light becomes the response to darkness. So that's the solution. Research. You do a research, and the research creates a web that becomes impregnable. That's the whole essence of the internet. The internet was created to aid research. So if the original intention of computer scientists was to confront the Soviet Union by gaining more intel, more information, more data, more knowledge, then that seems to be the solution. The scientists need to dig deeper, because if you are having platforms, if you are having softwares, they are becoming increasingly vulnerable. It tells you something, that these sophisticated hackers are having their way. That's the point. So the solution becomes research. That's the solution. Research. The hackers from Russia will get confused. See, these guys, they've created a web, and the web seems to be sharing information. It's called quantum web. They are using quantum computers. It's loaded with codes, and these codes share information with light. The demonic hackers, they lay back. See, they are clicking. The clicks is linked with light. They share light. See, information is being sent and light is being sent. That's the whole essence of the quantum web. Light is being deployed. Because if you say somebody is a demonic actor, you're indirectly saying that you can't place a face, you can't place a location to the activity of the criminal till you know that somebody is stealing from you. You know that somebody is gaining unauthorized access to your files, to your folders, to your computers, to your softwares, to your platforms, to your servers. You just know. But it becomes hard to link the activity of the criminal to a face. They're hiding. So if you want a response to blockchain technology, I think it's quantum web, quantum internet. Because the whole essence or the idea behind quantum web, the research is linked to quantum physics, and it deploys light in trying to send data, in trying to send information. So when it's time to send information, sparks of light is deployed. That's what happens when lightning takes place. The same way lightning chases diabolical birds. The birds are flying in the skies, demonic birds. They are operating as though they are parading like soldiers in the skies with special kind of light. God shows up with lightning, sparks of light. It hits their direction and they run away. That's the whole concept of quantum web. That's the whole concept of the quantum internet. So these guys, they are demonic. These guys are agents of darkness. That's exactly what they represent. So quantum web, it requires a lot of research. Now, the truth is that, as far as I'm concerned, it doesn't make sense to wait, because researches take a lot of time. Researches take a whole lot of time. So while the researchers are coming up with a solution, the Russians and other cyber criminals, they need to be sanctioned. The Americans, they are taking it easy with Russians. If you ask me, I say pull the plugs on these clowns. When you pull the plugs, you send a message, a clear message to Putin that we can actually hurt you and we will do it. You send a clear message to nations that employ the services of state-backed criminals, nations that employ the services of hackers and state-backed cyber criminals. Send a clear message. If Putin wakes up one morning and the US Treasury, in connection with the US Commerce Department, they identify some pharmaceutical companies that are responsible for the distribution of drugs to some Russians that are sick with some certain kind of illness. They yank them off from the perks of globalization. They yank them off from the distribution chain. They yank them off from global supplies. Send a clear message to Putin. That's it. So for me, it's like a chessboard. It's like a game of chess. That's it. Putin is playing to his strength. And I've analyzed it before. Nuclear weapons is one of them. Hacking or cyber crimes is one of them. Gas is also one of them. So you see the EU, they are beginning to wake up. So we have been getting too close with Putin. And apparently they are beginning to realize that this guy can hurt us. That's exactly what it is. The guys in the EU, they are running to America. They want to discuss about sanctions. Why? Because they are beginning to wake up. They are beginning to be sensitive. If you continue to hobnob with the Russians and you continue to give them or feed them with what they need to be strong, you are playing to their strengths, you are playing to their potentials. And when it's crunch time, they will have the capacity to hurt you. That's it. So it's very simple and straightforward. We should be looking at it from two angles. One of them is the weaponization of energy. Putin has one weapon, and it's the weaponization of energy. For the guys in the West, they have another weapon. It's called the weaponization of the dollar. So they have more than one at their disposal. Putin has the weaponization of energy. The guys in the West, they have the weaponization of the global financial institutions, the weaponization of the global financial system, the weaponization of the global payment system, the weaponization of SWIFT. So, which are you going to call the strongest? The guy that can cripple you economically via economic sabotage. Because it is just one thing Russians have, gas. But the West have the capacity to shut down a lot of things. So you need to think about the worst case scenario if, for instance, Russia is yanked off from the global payment system. Just think about it. The hackings will stop. That's the truth. Hacking will stop. Everybody will run to Putin, say everything can't work in Russia. Nothing. Because Russia and the economy of Russia is linked to SWIFT. Everything will stop. Nothing will work in Russia. As regards finances, as regards cross-border payments, nothing will work. So it's not a permanent solution. The research becomes a permanent solution. But what you are trying to do is send signals, clear signals.